So they put me in front of a board of colonels and everybody else. They don't tell you anything. So had a salute, and all these guys there, and had to sit down, and they said, well, son, you didn't do that well in college, but would you like to go back to school? And I, So then I figured out Wisconsin, probably I learned about ASTP then. I knew Wisconsin had a chapter, and I knew a lot of girls at school, so I thought this is going to be great. And I was sent down to California to the STAR unit, which was Stanford University. And the STAR unit would take everybody from what was called the 9th Service Command. That's the whole West Coast, and including Utah and the rest of them. And they dispersed you to the different units, teaching anywhere from language in one unit to engineering. So I ended up at Santa Clara University finally, after about 4 or 5 weeks at Stanford. And I ended up in an engineering school. And because I'd only had a year and a half, you were either in the beginner's program or the advanced program. Well, I was in the beginner's program. And I started taking the same darn stuff I'd just been taking in Madison. And by that time, I knew I wasn't ever going to be an engineer. We took Lentz, and then of course we knew about Mauthausen, and then by that time Patton said every man on the division has to see this. So the day after Liberation I was in Mauthausen. And I don't know how to explain it, but it was first of all, you could smell it way before you got there. The corpses around there, and they had what they called the hospital yard, and it was where they put people that were dying. No, nothing to keep the weather out, you just stay behind this barbed wire till you die. The camp hadn't been cleaned up. Our bulldozers had to bury the people. The bulldozer just pushing bodies into a trench. There were so many, I don't know how many were dead when we got there. It seemed everywhere you looked there were dead people. Someone was stacked up, And they could, the crematorium wasn't big enough. They couldn't burn them fast enough. So that's why we ended up burying them in trenches that were 100 yards long, Our medics were fine for our division, but not for 20, 30, 40,000 prisoners, So they brought in extra doctors. It was a month-long thing to get things back to some semblance of normalcy, and save those that could be saved. But I would guess that probably after we captured it, at least 10,000 more died. It was something so different than we had been used to seeing. We saw a lot of dead Germans and a lot of dead Americans, but nothing like this. It's almost impossible to describe. And to get together with the smell, it was unbelievable. We couldn't believe it. We just couldn't believe it.